Hello, this is Aspiire. I'm here today doing a Fnatic versus IG analysis, similar to the sort of thing how Monte Cristo does a couple of his things. So we're just going to be going over this game, a few different things. This is Fnatic versus IG Game 1, Day 1 of the 2015 World Championship. A few things to note is that IG came in third place in China. They are a very, very top-focused team. ZZ Tai is very, very good top laner. Cacao is probably the best jungler in this tournament. And Rookie is undoubtedly probably top 3, top 4 mid at this season's World Championship. As well, Fnatic outclasses their Victus bot lane very, very hard. Reckless, Yellow Star, and is a lot better bot lane than Kid and Kitties. And so we're going to see a few of these bans and how they play out. Darius is just very, very strong in this match, especially since ZZ Tai is a very top lane heavy focused champion. Cool. Definitely a good idea. A little interesting here. I don't know about the Vayne. I feel like Reckless and Yellow Star could have used the shit out of the Vayne. That was my immediate response to this. A little bit of context too is that I did watch the first 10 minutes or so of this game, and then I do know the result. I haven't really watched too much into it, but I thought it was pretty interesting to look at. Here's something that's going to really, really mess with you. Cacao is like God mode on Lee Sin. And then like Nidalee, like, okay, so one thing that really, really messed me up here was that like Reignover isn't, a lot of analysis people were saying that the whole huge problem between Fnatic versus IG is how strong Cacao is in comparison to Reignover. And then you have Lee Sin and Nidalee up. They do first pick of Lease, which is a traditional counter against Lee Sin for sure. But I don't know. It's a little bit wonky. And then, of course, Reignover's secondary picks. He's played a bit of Gragas, but that's nerfed on this patch. And then he's also played Olaf. And then, so his tested champion pool hasn't been that crazy, but he has shown proficiency on Elise. So here's a bit of the weird stuff here. So I think IG kind of threw this pick ban phase. Sure, Elise is really, really good into Lee Sin and decent into Nidalee as well. But it's Cacao. Like, come on. Sure, it just feels like IG didn't have confidence in this pick ban. It feels weird to have that Skarner picked when you almost need something to match the early game pressure being put out by Elise. It's also interesting to see the Gangplank ban. I'm not sure what happened in scrims and whatnot, but from what an outsider perspective can see, Huni was not good on Gangplank in the finals. He got forced onto it after Soaz just face rolled for 2 games on Gangplank, and seemed like a bit of an interesting decision for that ban. But of course, hindsight 2020, we have no idea. Maybe Forbidden's playing it as well mid. That's been a common place thing, especially in China. Lulu ban as well is a little bit interesting. Huni hasn't been really playing that too much this summer. Don't quote me on that. Mordekaiser, same thing, but Mordekaiser was really, really strong. He ended up being banned in just about every game, if not all the games today, so I think he's probably going to be a pretty staple ban. That's what I like to see. I like the Riven there. The other thing too is that if IG did their research, they know Huni isn't going to be taking that Shen top. That's going to be Yellow Star Shen. Huni is A, not good on tanks, B, played Shen once, I think, if that. So they should, if they did their research for this match, which they should, this is 1, 2 in Group B, they should know that the Shen's going to support. In that case, Riven's pretty okay into Shen, but at the same time, they're basically blind picking this Riven into an Elise, Sivir, Shen, which is a little bit interesting. Also, too, here is this Ashe pick. This Ashe pick was just like I don't even know what the heck's going on. Your primary engage is going to be that Ashe, because Skarner almost needs something to single target CC, and then you have Riven to blow up the target, and Thresh's secondary engage. But as you're going to see in a second here, they pick this Ashe, second rotation, yes. When you already have Elise, Sivir, Shen, all three of these champions have proficiency against the Ashe arrow. Elise can repel, Sivir can spell shield, Shen can shadow dash, taunt, if you will. So who are you going to target? Silly, I don't get it. And then Fnatic drops in the Azir Hecarim. Azir can like outrange his Ashe pretty hard. On top of that, has the E, which can get out of Ashe ult as well. Hecarim is incredibly movable, and like he moves around really well. Another really, and also he's gonna end up being, as you're gonna see with his build, he does end up going like Trinity Force at the end here. But he ends up rushing a Frozen Heart. Ends up being, he's their primary tank on that team. Even with Trinity Force, he's the primary tank. Like, so you're just gonna arrow the primary tank? Like, when they do like arrow and then Skarner and then Riven ult and Victor, like they have a lot of single target CC burst here. And then, you know, too, if you have Victor, Riven has a decent amount of AoE as well. Excuse me, as well. But Fnatic drafted very well in this comp. The only little teeny thing I see here is his Vayne. I'm not sure about how the Braum, I haven't actually seen Kitties play too much on that champion. I haven't watched enough IG to tell you the truth either way, but Vayne, I think that you could let that Vayne ban slide. I think that could be something else. I don't know if that's a bait into the Ashe or something like that, but I don't feel like Vayne is a necessary ban here. You probably could have tossed out something a little bit more, maybe even, it'd be interesting to see if they like ban Victor instead, because Victor and Azir are two very strong mid laners in the current meta, but at the same time, you know, you don't ban that Vayne and you ban Victor instead. Maybe that's going to toss Rookie onto a Yasuo or a Echo, which is going to be a lot, probably has the potential to be a lot more of a painful matchup for Viven. So if you make Rookie on the AoE wave clear-esque champion trying to match Viven, that's maybe a little bit of a better opportunity here, but still interesting. But definitely the main issue here with this draft is that IG's primary engage is an Ashe, and Riven flank TP isn't the really greatest engage, especially since a lot of the times you're going pretty heavy into an offensive build on her. And yeah, it's weird. It really is weird, especially since they took that 4th pick in the 2nd rotation. It just, after seeing 3 champions that can avoid that Ashe arrow so easily, especially since like you have Sivir, Shen, Elise, and Ashe's pause length 5.5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna skip this. Get right into the game. Now I do remember there was a bit of a pause here, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Feel like better options, like Tristana was open. Tristana isn't like necessarily that good into Sivir, but it negates a lot of the Fnatic primary engage. Because basically you're going to want Hecarim to TP into the back line and just FSU. But you have Tristana can just ult him back out, or just auto attack, cancel the home guard TP, and then jump out. A lot better of an option. But at the same time, you would have to draft some sort of other primary engage, because LOL, it's Skarner trying to grab one of these champions, and then then you have Thresh, which isn't like, he's better as a secondary. He can't really rely on the hooks. So, interesting pick ban here. As I said before, probably the better idea is to take Skarner off the table and then toss in maybe like a Lee Sin. Or you could do a Nidalee and you could end up doing like Tristana, Victor, Nidalee. I totally did that backwards. But just have like a really good siege comp and then have Riven for split push, or even switch out the Riven pick and make it some sort of disengaged champion, like a Maokai or something like that. There's some options here. There's some definite options here, and a lot of that would be probably a little bit better against this team comp. This Ashe doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Either way, so we're going to start looking at this here. As you can see, we have the typical Chinese, very, very 80 focused lane swaps, as you're going to see. Throughout this tournament, actually, is that Ashe is going to be up here getting solo XP, and then Fnatic is going to be end up. So this is really unfortunate here. So he just missed Huni taking that camp, and then Yellowstar ends up getting this, which isn't that big of a deal. It's just 16 gold, but it's got a decent amount of XP because they've loaded so much XP onto the secondary things, and they also noticed what their jungle pathing is, which is really huge, because that tells you, hey, we need, like, Huni needs to, he can't go up in a top lane safely. So what they're going to do here is that they're still freezing this lane up here. They're going to see Elise and Hecarim here are moving towards the bot side. Reckless has already started shoving. Kitties is still freezing. What they're going to end up doing here, Shen's going to come down here too. They recognize this, and they still see Kitties freezing. And these two are trying to catch this wave as Sivir pushes it in to respond. If they are able to catch this wave, that's really, really big. As you're going to see in a second, Elise and Hecarim are going to cut them off, which is really, really huge. That's going to deny the first 2.5 waves of experience or so from hitting this tower. And while Kitties is still farming up here, this is what's really interesting. The announcers pointed this out afterwards, is that Kid is alone in this lane, and Reckless is beating him in CS. That should never happen. And as you're going to see, he's going to maybe drop a level just because of how this push went, but he ends up backing at this time with the experience the same. And this wave is pushing into him, so you might get maybe like half a wave worth of experience, but he's going to be able to catch probably 4 to 5 minions, depending on aggro, on this wave here, which is really huge. This, however, was a huge mistake here. They ended up not finishing this tower, which is, the announcers do say, is a little bit interesting. If they took this tower and then just caught this wave top, it would have been significantly different. So you end up, Reckless ends up catching this boomerang as God mode, NA boomerang. He ends up catching about a wave, I think it was 7 or 8 CS. Didn't quite catch it exactly, but like that's big, especially since Ashe backed on exactly the same gold, couldn't buy a pickaxe simply because was missing farm for some reason in a 1v1. Like Kid should be on that wave, should be around, should have had enough, is what I'm trying to get at. He ended up just matching the Doran's blade, the boots, and he ended up getting some potions. He should have been able to match. And that's a huge, huge, huge misplay. Because if he had pickaxe and then maybe he had enough for another HP potion, like they could do a lot of damage in this lane. But you know, it ends up not being a big deal. But a lot of the times, like you can snowball really hard, and as you're gonna see, like especially since Ashe doesn't have that advantage now, and they don't have an early game jungler. Sivir and Shen are just gonna perma shove this into the lane, make it so mid stays in a 1v1. Kitty is like, we had nobody showed mid here with either support, which is really interesting in the lane swap. Sometimes a lot of champions, they both rank cleanse, which is really interesting. Actually, it's not that interesting at all. It's pretty straightforward. At least Cocoon, everything else, shenanigans. But so they could have played this a little bit better, is what I'm trying to say. The other thing too is that Riven got a lot of wards early. That's really good. He's gonna see these wards, and it's gonna be like, okay, we're gonna maintain this this 1v1. They're gonna maintain just the constant push and pull with Azir and Victor. Victor went first upgraded Hex score, which means he's going to be able to E all of the caster minions, and that was the main reason why Victor was so strong the past couple patches, because of that. Another thing too to note is that Cacao on this Skarner goes Sightstone first item. He also did this when he played it back against EDG. And then, luckily enough, this ended up working out and they ended up taking the turn anyway, so as I move my mouse, or stop moving my mouse, you'll see that Fnatic is now in the lead by 1,200 gold, which is where they should have been. Where they should have been with that turret take before. But, you know, they could have, Huni ended up messing up on the bounce or something like that, and I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's fine. Rain over here, this is what I noticed with this play, is that, like, despite the fact that, like, they have Scuttle Crab and Cacao drop 2 wards here, and Rainover is still taking that blue buff. Oh, man. That should, like, that's a lot of time investment for Cacao. And as well, it's like you couldn't protect the blue in, like, a Azir Victor matchup. If one has blue and one doesn't have blue, it's a bit of a problem. Especially since Azir is going to be shoving in Victor and getting little, like, chunks out of the turret now. Because Victor at some point is going to need to base because of Azir poke. Like, that's just how the world works in that matchup. State ranges if he plays it properly, which is good. Like, this is really confident play by Rainover, which is big. And, you know, again, I'm gonna state, you know, if this is a Lee Sin instead of a Skarner, who's going to be, like, as you're gonna see, he's power farming the jungle, and Rainover is still staying even in CS. I think he's only about a camp behind. As you're going to see, like, even with this base, he's up. He's going to be up a little bit, but he's still out there. He's doing the stuff. He's doing the things. And that's what a lot of things you're going to notice in competitive play, is that it's more about making use of your time and wasting your opponents. And the more that cannon minion miss was walls, so that's one to set out there. That's pretty funny. Excuse me, let me mute my mic for a second.
A lot of the jungle pressure has been about.
Sorry, a little bit cold going on. This is interesting. ZZ Tai hasn't based yet. He's going to be basing after this wave, but unfortunately, this is a huge friggin' wave, and this is just going to reverse the push right into Huni. If Huni freezes this out properly, which he ended up doing, more or less likely, that's going to deny a lot of, like, what's Riven's options right now. She has no turret. Rainover took this blue, so they have, like, a general idea of some sort of control over the side of the jungle. Now, jungle pathing wise, you should know that they probably saw him go back because there was a ward here, ward here. Was it flashing? ZZ Tai. Oh, that was an unfortunate timing to be taking Scuttle Crab. That's funny. Ends up killing it. I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. If you had, like, Cocoon and stuff, it'd be like, just YOLO jumped over that wall, and it's like, Kappa, what are you up to? Another thing too is that Rainover had a decently timed Ringglaive, so he's in a nice power spike against Cow right now, who's only sitting on a Ruby Crystal site because he went Sightstone early. That was the main reason. Not too sure about that. Skarner has a tendency to do really well when the rest of his lanes can A, assist him, and B, are doing good things so he can shove in and start messing around the jungle, because his jungle clear on this current patch and a few of the patches earlier, like 5.16. Oh! That was good. That was a nice play. Nice play. It's gonna be interesting to see how much gold Rookie was staying on, but that was a good attempt. Unfortunately, it burned At least flash for Victor. I don't know, maybe Footman could have done the Shurima Shuffle, as they call it, a little bit better to make it so they didn't have to burn flash, but, you know, hindsight 2020, got the flash, that's what matters. Also, too, the other thing that really weirds me out with Skarner in this is you Azir wall, and Skarner can't do anything. Like, this IG pick, man, is just so good. Other thing, too, is that we're going to notice is that Kid and Reckless, the difference in items here. Just a lot of the times, Reckless and Alistar are basically being like, alright, Kid and Kitty's, like, you need, like, they're dictating the back times a lot of the time in this lane. So, like, Ashe is sitting on a pickaxe, 2 Doran's Blades, Zerker Greaves, and Boots. Which is just not very optimal. While Reckless has BF and Zerkers, which is really big. You're going to see in a second here, they're pinging on this ward. So as soon as, you're going to see in a second here, I think it's around this time. No, they're basing right now. Okay, never mind. I was just trying to remember the timing, because I know they did a play top where they had Huni TP in. Huni also brushed out Frozen Heart, which is pretty cool, to say the least. Me and ZZ Tai's going to have next to 0 kill pressure, especially since Huni has ultimate and ignite. Not going to have too much of a chance in that lane to kill that Hecarim. The Hecarim's pretty gigantic. Only thing that would have been a little bit different is to go Boots instead of Longsword, just for the guard potential. This is good. Basically, they timed it so... Okay, I want to pause this real quick. I'm going to Okay. So they got the Ashe. They saw them coming back. They saw them going back. There was a ward here. And they know they based. Reckless shoves in. They're going to try to... This is just a mistake. Like, they know this turret's already, I think it was at like 400 or 500 HP. Like, it's quarter-ish. As you're going to see, Reckless is going to walk up, take that. He got Zerker Greaves so he can take that faster. He's going to walk up, take the tower. Elise already pathed up to here. They didn't see Elise because of this nice little line of wards here, despite the fact that Cacao has a Sight Stone. And... man. That's brutal. It was really well played pathing here. And, like, if you go back to here again, real quick. So, where are we here? Just want to see if Elise gets seen by any wards. She gets seen there. She get pinged out. Watch where she goes. He's walking up top. Probably, yeah. Got seen there too. Oh my goodness. You saw jungler do... They just let Elise walk in and just let themselves get tower dove. They know Hecarim has TP because Riven has TP. They haven't been used. They would have kept track of that. And they just walked back in that lane. And that turret was, I'm not sure, probably around 500 to 700 HP. Waves push again. Sivir clears waves. Zerker Greaves. Elise is coming top. Tower dive dead. That has the potential to be, at best, a 4v3. And at worst, a 4v2. It's going to end up being a 4v2. And Elise... Shen ends up walking into here, too, which telegraphs this so hard. And it's like, oh, they just tunnel really hard on this. Yeah, baited super hard. At this point, they see Elise, and they're like, well, we done fucked up. That was really well played by them. That was a huge misstep by IG number 1. But it's out of that. Very well played by Fnatic.
these plays.
Not only was it a good play, it was a smart play by
Yeah, as they're
FNC.
saying, oh, this is a good play, smart play, blah, 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 blah.
Was essentially the same. They were hoping a 3 or 4 man
But, like,
onto the near
as soon as you see Shen be that aggressive with Sivir on the turret, they should have just backed off. Especially since they saw Elise. They saw Elise walk up into the side of their jungle. Like, they know Elise is there. Very interesting. Interesting choice. See, Elise walks up. The Sakura TP was a little bit unnecessary. He's like, I want to get in! No, okay, I'm going to get 16 gold, sweet. Which is kind of unfortunate because he ends up spending that teleport. But ZZ Tai ended up teleporting too for some reason. So it ends up being okay. And here's their thing. Their thing with the Skarner. What has Skarner done right? Skarner hasn't done a gank in almost 15 minutes into the game. Hasn't even hardly shown in lane. If not at all. Don't quote me on that. Elise is beating Skarner in CS, and Skarner was power farming. That's one of the downsides of going to sight zone so early, is that not only did his team not use that sight zone vision properly, or use it offensively or defensively for that matter, but it ended up putting Kakao behind. That flash taunt, Kitties is dead again. My screen's lagging a little bit. My apologies. Alright, let's see what happened here. So they saw Kitties walk by there. So they see him. And they're like, they have all this vision up here still from that last tower dive. That flash taunt was really great. That was a really good flash taunt. But that's a mistake that you can't be making. Didn't have to walk all the way out there. You got tunnel vision on. I think there was a pink ward in there. It's got tunnel, but it was like, alrighty then. So what Fnatic should be doing now is that they're going to end up probably going for this mid tower, which is the correct thing to do. They've already got the outer two. What? Okay. Hooney's dead? No? Okay. And then they end up taking the tower, put up the Shrima thing. This is... Wow, that was really lucky. You know, if he didn't go Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart's the real MVP. Hopefully they show replay of that. Don't really want to like go back in full speed, but... yeah, the ends going Phage here. I still think Hooney should be rushing out a Ninja Tabbies with home guards instead of probably going Phage. But, you know, whatever. It seems ahead. But yeah, especially since with his TP coming up within the next 60 seconds or so, you probably get those up, get it so you can have a home guard play. And Dragon's coming at about a minute too. Those are probably going to sync up. Excuse me. So that's probably your better option. But you know, whatever. The thing too is that like this is huge. There was like Kakao, like still even farm, and Elise got a kill, has had way more impact on the map, and look, got a sight stone. This sight stone rush isn't, it's very suboptimal, especially since how now the Cinder Hulk works. It's not the best. Especially, like, wards are only good if you're using them. that's a huge problem. If you're not using wards, why are you buying wards? And the team wasn't using wards. So... Alright, let's take a look here. Dragon's up. Hooney is screwed because he doesn't quite have TP up yet. Driven's TPing in. I like this view that they did. Oh, what? What was that? That Ash arrow. Ooh, that was a... Oh. Okay. Nice cocoon into my taunt. There we go. Not charm. Shen's very charming. Oh.
They were running out of options. This was never going to be the best one, but they had to do something. We see it right
here. That's a... They had to do something correct. Or just not do anything at all. And just let Riven shove this in, maybe get top tower and just trade it. I think that's probably the better decision, but they you know, China, it's gotta fight all the time. I think that they just take that trade and then go top. And they get blue buff again away from rookie, which is really, really huge. Alright, let's watch this team fight again. They start off Dragon, Cacao's in here, TP coming in from Riven. Pretty okay positioning. Just be said. Kitties and Victor's coming in late, a little bit later. Would be like nice to have these guys a bit here by now in that synchronization, especially if Riven pops out. Like, would have been better about where Riven's a bit there by now instead of still TPing in. Crystal Arrow ends up hitting Reckless somehow. Like, wait, let's see if we can back this up for a second. Alright. Watch this arrow. This arrow was just silly. Like, how does that even happen? You'll see in a second. Like, Forbidden doesn't have cleanse right now. Oh, yeah. Did he use in that fight? Let me watch it again. Forbidden cleanse. Reckless just like spell shields nothing? What? One of them two hit it. Yeah, Forbidden still doesn't use cleanse. That's strange. Forbidden's... That was an amazing ultimate. Okay. I was too busy looking at the cleanse there. Alright, let's back this up just a smidge. So they get a dragon. Rain over NA flash. Oh, that was great. Huni knows what he's doing. Watch Huni's positioning here. Goes right at Cacao, who's all stunned up. At this point, Cacao needs to use his ultimate on a priority target. He's already pushed out. ZZ Tai is going to be jumping in, but as you're going to see in a second, this is a good hook. This is good. See where... ZZ Tai just stunned nothing. Can I do it like that? Oh, like that? Lame. Okay, let's watch this again. Watch ZZ Tai. ZZ Tai should... Okay, he walked here. Just fucking dive the backline. Get on top of them. Jumping around. Jumping around. Where's ZZ Tai right now? Right here. If he didn't jump this way, he could have been on top of both of these guys before Forbidden ulted. Forbidden plus Hecarim ult. Yeah, look at this. They're not winning that fight. Yeah, that was interesting. It was a mixture of the fact that it's an Ashe. You know, you get Tristana free hitting on this. Might have been a little bit different. ZZ Tai's decision to jump this way and was a little bit too hard, like looked too hard at this Cacao Rain over Yellowstar situation. Should have been on the back line. And then, I don't know what this jump was, but whatever. This is, like, oof, that cocoon. It's really nice. Alright. Let's just go over it one more time here. As I said, low percentage plays. The TP timing wasn't that well synced with the Ashe Arrow. Basically, you want the Ashe Arrow to hit as Riven is, like, here. To the point where she could, like, flash Q stun or something like that to chain the CC. This Ashe Arrow was way too early. I don't know if they just got antsy with it. Alright. So somebody NA smited there, I saw that. Point blank flash cocoon. This is really big that they took out Cacao first, because if Cacao had ulted somebody useful during this fight, you're gonna see like he just ends up ulting like Huni or Rain over or something like that. But it's big that they took out Cacao first here, especially since they didn't do anything like weird to dive the backline. Just like focus the person here. Cacao's still not that squishy. He only has a Cinderhulk, Tier 2 boots, and Sightstone. I think he had another Ruby Crystal as well, so he's not that... There's not a lot of resistances going on there. They can burst him out pretty quickly. That hook was really, really important. ZZ Tai is over here. Jump this way. Go. Now he does. The Spider of Doom. Reckless ends up flashing there. But you know, ZZ Tai, Q'd here, then Q'd this way. Just go straight. Linear movement. Streamer Shuffle's gonna come out. ZZ Tai's gonna be too late. Has flash up. Could have flashed that after, but it's too late. It's already taken too much damage from this. Especially too, is that if he was more directed towards this backline here, which he should have been, you know, like Raven Alt probably is gonna melt both these people. Wouldn't have got hit by the Hecker Mult. I think ZZ Tai misplayed this fight really, really hard. And then, you know, Cacao didn't really get it off meaningful ult. Aspiire did pretty much nothing. Like it hit Sivir Spell Shield and cleanup. So what we can get out of that is Ash OP. And, you know, like, ZZ Tai a little bit of decision-making process. Probably could have done that a little bit better. Especially since Yellow, like, 2 is that, like, they just left... Reckless had no Spell Shield. Forbidden at... Excuse me. Had no Cleanse, I do believe, at that point. I don't think he used Cleanse until later on in the fight. Alright, I'm not sure. But either way, like... You had Flash, you had Q's up. You can get on top of Nazir, even through the wall, if you play it right. There was, however, some correct target placement there, is that they made sure Skarner wasn't going to have an impactful ultimate, which is really big. And then immediately, as soon as, like, Rookie's ultimate was a little bit lackluster, it kind of didn't get over into where it needed to be. And then ZZ Tai's decision-making of not just going YOLO ham on the backline. Especially since, too, is that, like, Forbidden now is going for Zonia's, which is going to make the next fight a lot more difficult for IG. So, let's see what the next option here for IG, what they need to do is... they just need to make sure they have control over this side of the jungle. They still have a decent amount of pick potential, and they have enough burst to kill somebody. So all they need to do is just make sure they're warding up the red side jungle and look for a pick, because Fnatic's next decision is Baron. Oh, look at that. But they're a little bit too late with this party. This is a really early Baron too. Aspiire comes in, hits Rainover. That was a really, 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 really clutch ultimate from Forbidden. Oh my goodness. Give that guy a cookie. His two ultimates there, this one in the last fight were really, really on point. That was a really, really strong play. Wow. That was really nice. Huni again, just a little bit of a wonky TP, but, you know, not very necessary. It was more of a, whatever. Didn't need it. Forbidden QSS. Because, you know, you already have a Stasis, Cleanse, and you know what? Why not get another thing? Especially since Cleanse doesn't work against Skarner ult, because it's suppression. Alright, let's watch this again. Huni TP's in. Rookie's in a bit of an interesting pickle here. Cacao's going to try to... They have a ward on it. Aspaire's going to come in and hit Rainover. Sorry. Sick. Rainover hits. And what's really interesting here is that this Thresh Hook... Oh! That Thresh Hook might have took Baron. That was damn close. That was just really lucky, I guess. Sand Soldier's OP, they must have just been in the thing of the animation of doing so, because that Thresh Hook should have took Baron. Where'd that Thresh Hook end up? Did I end up hitting? No, it didn't end up hitting anyone, so that probably could have took Baron. especially since they were trying to hit the thrush hook as the smite came in, which is kind of important because then you can burst a little harder. Thrush hook at, considering he's might not be maxing it, level 9 might have a point or two into it, so you know it'd be around 80 damage, but it's gonna be less to Baron, so probably around 80 with resistances in and to the Baron and whatnot. So because it probably has 2 to 3 points in it, depending on if he goes like Flay first. That's lane dependent anyway. But you know, there's there's some potential here. But especially since Rainover is still stunned by God knows what. TP comes in, good stack, good shield here. Or Victor theme, yeah, close as we said. But that wall was clutch as fuck. He tried to flash it, and he just pushed him over. Oh. That's good. Really well played. And as they're going to do now, Aspiire has a lot of siege potential with the poke, especially since he went... Oh, we did go Rallies, my bad. He went Zonias, which is fine, but you know, it's going to have a lot of damage. Have I mentioned how much I really like this? But, you know, a lot of damage. There isn't, again, like, they don't have anything on their team that can really work around that. Work around the fact that they can't engage. Like, your only option is to engage on Huni, who has a Frozen Heart Trinity Force, and Ultimate, and E, and is one of the most maneuverable champions in the game. Really smart decision. This draft, I'm telling you, just toss around a few things on the grass and this game would be a lot different. Wave control's really good here. Yeah. So, walk up, take a turret. Reckless is fucking doing Gromp down here to take top turret. Man. That's brutal. You got all 3 waves pushing at once, it's pretty solid. At this point, there's not too much you can do with IG. Luckily, they have wave clear that they can probably stall us out for a bit. But like Victor's really good in line, Ash is a really good bunch up because of her W. But at the same time, like, not too much you can do, especially since how much Baron takes off of Victor's damage to minions. Especially since he went Rylai's, which is good, by all means. But, however, it kind of takes away a bit from his damage, which is kind of lame. So, let's see what's going on here. Hecarim went Giant Spell, 2 QSS is done, Skarner's rendered pretty much ineffective. That's the one thing too, is that, like, sure, Skarner was a really strong pick in solo queue, but competitive teams aren't afraid to build double QSSs and run this crap. It's a different ballgame, and it's going to be interesting to see how much Skarner's pick priority continues throughout this tournament, because he's really not showing that much effectiveness in this game. Got that yellow star split push. Huni's splitting as well. Baron has run out, I do believe. Yep. Yes, it has. Alright, so Fnac's gonna be, looks like they're pushing all 3 lanes at once here, which is interesting. Let's watch for a second. Dragon Baron isn't coming up for a little while. They need to... It's really tricky. They need to do like a 1-3-1 because Victor wave clear, and then, you know, if Ribbon isn't in like a 1v4 scenario or in a 5v5 scenario, she can wave clear pretty effectively. So, don't have too many options in that sense. The other thing too, IG didn't take a turret this game. IG got 1 kill. I think they ended up doing 1 kill, 0 dragons, 0 turrets. That's substantial. And look at the difference between gold here. Huni's up like 2k and...
now they've shown strong early, strong mid. Fnatic need to demonstrate that
really interesting.
they can have a strong closing to the game. All summoners
So Fnatic needs to, however, get this going. It looks like they ended up, they're going to stall out until the next Baron, which is fine, especially since their Baron take was in like 22 minutes or something ridiculous like that. So, yeah, this is good. Reignover just smited Raptors, so he's going to have the Raptor buff, so he can go up and clear this jungle. Jungle's already started, 1 minute 30 seconds, pretty decent. They also took control over this, so Cacao can't efficiently... Reignover ended up taking both, that's interesting. I don't know, it's not interesting, it's fine, but it means he's going to be able to take control of this jungle incredibly well. Cacao will not be able to clear the jungle because he doesn't have oracles nor a Raptor buff. What's really interesting though is that Reignover didn't end up finishing in oracles. I feel as though that Reignover probably should have got that really early, considering how heavy of a lead they were and the fact that Cacao, they have double sights now because of Cacao. Huni's still pressuring up here, which is fine. That's going to keep pressure on the bot side of the map. Huni basing, looking for a pick, probably. He's sitting in base. Again, like, Home Guard Hecarim isn't nearly as effective as it used to be, but it's still freaking good. So, I still think they probably should prioritize the Home Guards on that. Not to say that, you know, building a crap ton of tank is bad, but probably a good decision, especially since that's probably going to be your primary engage tool. And they just lost the game. Why are they up this far? That's weird. That was really weird. These ties. Well, that was strange. Just like push up mid. And it's like they all know they have this side of the jungle warded out. It was kind of weird. I don't know if they were just trying to look for a wide open fight, but like they don't have flank warded here. This was pretty black. Cacao got that Raptor, which is pretty big, but looks like it's been popped already. So Huni's gonna go push this wave out. Luckily, that's pushing for them. Baron is live. Alright, let's see. This is what the team. This is the end game team fight here. Oh, Hecarim. Okay, PL off Baron. Not too much damage. The Alistar is a little bit chunked, but like that's a fifth. It's not that bad, especially since heals it back quite a bit, and he's got Aegis. Huni TPing in, baited them all in. Got them all to come in. Everyone else is behind here. ZZ Tie is very dead. Yep. This is interesting. Forbidden just full YOLO'd. The trick though. Yeah. Triple. Yep. And we're gonna end up. Rocco's going for them pentas. Oh, that's funny. He wanted that so hard. And then IG ends up surrendering here, I do believe. Yep.
Everything counts for Fnatic. They get the kills, they get a Zhonya's as well from February.
They get the Zhonya's. And that's the end of the game. So, a few things we need to watch there was just ZZ Tie's positioning on that Riven just seemed a little bit wonky that whole game. And Pickman. A little bit interesting. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis, and I hope to do one of these for every day of Worlds, which would be kind of cool. And I want to just kind of nitpick what I thought would be the best game of the day and kind of talk it over. So if you guys could leave in the comments to say what I could improve on and whatnot, that would be great. And toodles.